feature match area right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the semi-finals of Grand Prix Madison. We are underway with Raphaël Lévy against Joe Lavrenz. Rich Hagan and Randy Buehler in the booth with you for this Final Four matchup. And we are straight into action with damage coming in from Raphaël Lévy. He is going to be on the aggressive path. Court Castigator was his turn to play, as he opened up with Cliffside Lookout, Core Scout Ally. Here is the rare Fathom Feeder for Joe Lavrenz, which is a very nice card, devoid, ingest, and has the chance later in the game to draw him cards. So white-green with a little bit of red for Lévy. We believe, was it 3 mountains, Randy?
Yeah,
I think?
Yeah, he first picked Woodland Wanderer, second pick Grove Tender Druid, so he's kind of set up for green-white. Fourth pick Dragon Hunter Outcast, so that's the red splash, plus Woodland Wanderer obviously is happy when you splash cards. Lavrenz going to try to trade for Core Castigator, but Lévy has the trick.
Yeah, Dragon Master Outcast is a total beating, and no surprise that Lévy decided to make room for it.
Interesting, they've got Converge going on both sides of this. Converge, Lavrenz second pick was the Skyrider Elf.
Which we saw as a 4-4 during the quarterfinals.
Sure. Still hoping to trade for Core Castigators and still not going to be able to.
Infuse with the elements.
This matchup is awesome on multiple levels. Joe Lavrenz, we mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. This is the first Grand Prix he's ever entered. Local guy, Green Bay Packers t-shirt and all, showed up to play the GP because the GP came to town.
Yep.
Now he's going to the Pro Tour. And he's not done with his Grand Prix experience yet either. Into the top 4. Who's he playing against? Well, he's being passed to by one Hall of Famer, Paul Rietzel. Now he outlasted Paul. Now he's paired against Raphaël Lévy, who's in his 20th Grand Prix top 8.
Yeah, not 20th Grand Prix.
20th top 8.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet weekend for Raphaël Lévy, 1 week ahead of the Pro Tour. His trademark head-on forehead. I think very, very few people play Magic with cards in hand as often on the table as Raph. He, most people are generally doing something with the cards in their hand, but Raph generally puts them on the table, puts his head in his hands.
By the way, if Joe Lavrenz's weekend wasn't good enough from that story, guess what he first picked?
Rolling Thunder.
Blood Crypt.
Okay, great stuff.
Blood Crypt not actually in the sets if you're putting 2 and 2 together in the chat room right now.
Yeah.
He opened an Expedition.
Fantastic.
In the Grand Prix top 8 draft.
That's good stuff.
And you know what? It's in the deck. Because it gives him an extra color for Converge.
Well, that's right. So good stuff. So that was 2 expeditions in this top 8. And Lavrenz is happily in the semi-finals here against Lévy. So Snapping Gnarlid now has joined the fray for the Frenchman. Lavrenz just a Lifespring Druid right now with 6 mana open and cards in hand. So Lévy must be expecting something to be coming along. And Lévy attacks anyway, and Lifespring Druid, and in a shocking turn of events, 6 mana, Grip of Desolation, and I would like to kill your mountain. I think, was that? Yeah, there we go. I thought, surely that mountain is indeed dead.
Pump his response, though, so Lavrenz down to 1.
All right, Joe.
Wrap down to 1 card, though.
Right. Can you deal
and 1 Snapping Gnarlid
with a 2/2/3/3? Let's see. Well, you can deal with a 2/2 because that's on Reef Evoker, and that just straight out deals with a 2/2/3/3 because it's complete disregard.
Levy's got 2 lands in his hand. This miracle run is not going to keep going for Joe Lavrenz, is it? He's down 20 to 1 against the Hall of Famer.
And 20 to 1 were the numbers you were talking about earlier. 20 top 8s, 1 GP.
1 top 8.
And what? Yeah.
Look at that smile.
Me? Can I play some more Magic now? Thing is, it's quite a clock because although it's just a 2-2, one more land, it's 7 a turn on that Oran Reef Invoker.
Oh, flyer.
Yes. Stop the party.
Block?
Yep. Yes.
Can I interest you in blocking? No?
Anticipate.
Look for an answer. 3 cards.
I'll take that. That's a brilliant Spectrum going away. And pass the turn. Levy says, kill you. Lavrenz says, I'm going to flash out Ulamog's Nullifier.
And block.
And just block and kill your 2-3.
That was a pretty good answer. He anticipated into.
Grove Tender Druids.
Sure.
From Raph Lévy. So here's a plant. Can I untap, says Joe? Yes. Still at 1. But now he's up to the... Yep.
Eagerly drops that into play.
Has to pass because he has to keep 2 things back. Even the plant is lethal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Woodland Wanderer.
3 counters. 5/5.
Mm-hmm.
Still can get eaten by an Invoker, but Levy's only going to get through with 1 creature.
Okay, Joe. Can you keep it alive one more
fight.
turn?
Unnatural Aggression took down the spawn. Or the Scion. And... now what? He's not dead yet.
No, because Trample can get outlasted by Trample the other way. The On Reef Invoker can get big enough, so it's just pass, and I'm going to turn it into a 7/7 if you attack with it, so you can't.
Sports Deck does make it awfully hard for Joe Lavrenz to
go anywhere.
Add to
right.
his side of the board.
Well, 3 more land and then a spell and...
Or, I mean, instant speed. I mean, obviously he got out the Nullifier.
Yes.
With Flash.
Levy passes the turn. Yeah, like you say, it's so tough because Joe actually has stuff in his hand to do.
Yeah.
It's just they're not the things he wants to do, like an incubator drone. It's not going to be quite big enough. If he was at like 3 or 4, he'd be in business.
Uh-oh.
More flying action.
Another creature.
And Joe looks. It's been on 1 for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a cool game. Well played on both sides.
So out comes the incubator drone that he's had in hand for a couple of turns. And a 3/3 flyer. It's Skywriter Elf.
Sure.
That blanks the 2/2 flyer. He now does have enough to take care of the Woodland Wanderer if Levy attacks. Even with putting the 1/1 in front of the Grove Tender. So, yeah, right now, he's just about okay.
Oh, boy.
That
is a late game stalemate breaker for you.
Well, I recommend killing it, Joe. Kill
Look
it.
at the smile.
Kill it now.
Levy all business.
Make it dead.
All right.
6 mana. Coastal Discovery Awaken.
Okay. I don't know that he can keep up with a 5/5 dragon every turn.
He can completely disregard the Dragon Master Outcast if what he draws there is a complete disregard because he's got 3 mana up. And a Scion if he wants.
That's unfortunate.
So that would do it.
I don't.
That's bad news because you don't wait until next turn to do
Nope.
it.
Wow.
Oh, what a terrific game. We just saw a tremendous last quarter final with Processing and Eldrazi aplenty. And now here we are with mythic 5/5 dragons getting made every turn against an opponent who's been on one since Thursday.
I'm gonna end a turn.
Other anticipate.
Oh boy.
And
Anything more to make this game even crazier from Joe Lavrenz. Just saying how many cards you got. Well, it's 2. Nice line from Evanissimo in the chat. A leaf could kill him.
let's try and find white circles.
Not done yet. 5 mana. He does draw an answer. 1 turn late.
Here, we're just killing that guy dead.
It's just 1 dragon. We can deal with 1 dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do more. But you know,
What an extraordinary game Magic is. Raphaël Lévy, 16-1 ahead, has seen 7 or 8 essentially winning moments slip away through no fault of his own. This has all just been about Joe refusing to die. Good on him.
and 3 cards. Tell you what,
Out of interest, I know you have decks sort of sitting around here, Randy. The 3 mountains weren't just for Dragon Master Outcast. Is there a random, let's say, Touch of the Void as part of the red splash?
I mean, the red splash does help a little bit with the convoke.
Converge, yeah.
Converge,
Yeah.
sorry.
But he doesn't have a
I'm looking.
straight face
Nope.
spell somewhere.
Nope.
Okay. Stasis Snare.
my alpha.
So wants to take away a flying blocker. Makes
Which
sense,
he does.
given that he's got 2 flyers. A 5/5 and a 2/2.
And
There
thank you.
we go.
All
Joe Lavrenz
right.
finally dies.
Well, that was a tremendous game of Magic.
That was awesome.
Raphaël Lévy leads 1-0 over Joe Lavrenz, which almost certainly means we can show you game 1 at turbo fashion of Magnus Lanto against John Graham. Why don't we do that? Because we can be pretty certain they got through their game 1 in the time it took us to get through ours. Fortified Rampart kicks off opposite Mist Intruder for Lanto. That meets Gideon's Reproach. Kozilek's Sentinel rebuilds. Benthic Infiltrator on the right for Graham. And now there's the Herald of Kozilek. 2/4 makes your colorless creatures 1 cheaper.
Like that channeler that's coming down on turn 4.
Exactly like that turn 4 Kozilek's channeler, which will still generate 2 extra mana next turn. And Lanto has stolen the advantage in the early game. Cloud Manta comes down, 3/2 flyer. That's all, just 3/2 flyer for 4 mana. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, this is blue-white flyers against blue-red Devoid.
Right.
Both decks look very good so far.
Coastal Discovery into as a 4/4 Awaken spell. Now here's Incubator Drone with Scion. And the board's starting to clog up. 9 creatures between the two of them. Channeler at 5 is going to be Rush of Ice Awakened. So that's 2 big land for Lanto. And 5 sideways, because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. That's 15 damage by the looks of things coming in. That's quite a lot. I know Fortified Rampart will suck up quite a bit there. And here's Gideon's Reproach. So, all right, that gets rid of one of the lands, the land creatures.
4/4 down, 3/3 got blocked. Not that much damage got through. Ooh.
Felodar Sovereign, 4/6 life link vigilance. Don't think we'll worry about the 40 life just at the moment, especially after Magnus attacked for so many last turn.
Yeah, I think we'll worry about the life link, though.
Yes.
And the 4/6 part. Yeah, Lanto's just got to go wide now. Flyers come over. Sovereign stays on defense. Well, I mean, it's got vigilance. It could have been on defense either way, but I don't think it risked an attack. Didn't want to die to a double block.
Stonehaven Medic came down for Graham, which gives a little bit of life. Adverse conditions.
Oh, my. Adverse conditions had to hit the attacking creatures? Couldn't hit the Felidar Sovereign? That's not good news for Magnus Lanto. He must be up against it from a life total point of view. I lost track of how many times he got hit by that 3/2.
Despite 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures in play, Lanto has right now. In with the 1/4. Get rid of your Coral Helm Guide.
Yeah, why don't we pause this and go back to our real first game, right? Go back to the main match?
Yeah.
We'll get back to these guys.
Because they're still going at it.
Yeah, I don't think this is about to end.
Right, so we'll come back to you in Turboland in a little bit. But let's show you live Levy against Lavrenz, which after heroic defense, Joe Lavrenz went down in the first game. He's using Lifespring Druid here to make a 4/4 Skyrider Elf. That is rather better than Shadow Glider. Wait, I paid 3 for a 2/2. That doesn't seem fair. So good job for the Skyrider. Advantage Lavrenz in the air. He comes in. Levy at the moment with just white mana on the board. Encircling Fissure. So Levy draws a land, but it's a plains again. Does get to sheer drop the 4/4 though. That's one of the occasions when the fact that he can't awaken it probably won't sadden him too much, because getting a board empty there is just great when you're really struggling for colors. Yes, that's probably the best single shot sheer drop I've seen this weekend.
That was that 7th land came into play awfully quickly, and now we see why.
Bane of Balaged, feel free to lose 2 of your planes because they're the only permanents you've got if I get to attack. All right. A land. Here's Resolute Blade Master. And I guess the only positive here is that Levy can sacrifice Blade Master and a land. And try and... That's another sheer drop, so the Bane can die next turn. He's going to try and keep the Blade Master there and let 2 lands go. He still takes the damage, though, so he really does want that Blade Master in play. That's a good card. Draws Forest, so Naya enabled. He's going to send in the Blade Master first. So Lavrenz loses a couple of life. Sheer drop says go away, Bane of Balaged, and now the only non-land permanent belongs to Levy. Okay, there aren't any. My mistake. It's just lands all the way right now. That is Dragon Master Outcast that Levy has just drawn there.
If it wasn't for Bane of Balaged, Dragon Master Outcast would be turned on.
Right.
Instead, he's a 1/1.
Grove Tender Druids. And Lavrenz is now
That's a lot of
just
land.
stacking up that. I mean, he can
Basically straight to
Ulamog.
10.
He can just Ulamog if he
Only
wants.
he'd been past 1. Paul Rietzel first picked it pack 3, declined to pass it.
Right. So Levy comes in with the Grove Tender Druids. And although he was struggling on mana early, Joe is, great, let's have a Lifespring Druid in case I need more mana.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a flood here for Joe Lavrenz.
Yeah.
Was not able to punish Raph for his early hiccups.
I mean, it was so close because Bane of Balaged only needed one more go round. It was the sheer drop that saved Raph for sure.
Pretty much. Now he's at 6. Beastmaster pumps the team.
Halamar Tidecaller, Fathom Feeder, 1/1 Devoid Ingest. 5 mana, draw some cards.
Yeah, he gets to start drawing more cards. Like, it is exactly the card he wanted to top deck while flooded.
Yeah. Because all my draws are going to be so much better because I've drawn all my land.
I mean, he's got enough mana to draw 2 cards a turn. Or, play a 6-drop and still draw a card.
Right.
But he's at 5 is the real problem.
And I'm going to show you Infuse with the Elements. And that is the handshake, and Raphaël Lévy is into the final.
He's pretty stoic during the game, but we got a nice fist pump out of him there at the end.
That means such a lot to Lévy. He's such a proud man, and we almost ignore him because he is, and in the nicest way, just a Hall of Famer, one of the best players in the history of the game. But he hasn't had a Pro Tour top 8 for a number of years.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of commentary work. He's part of the European coverage team. And
if you look at his Pro Tour record, though, he's always on day 2. He's always finishing in the money.
Yeah, he's I believe he has more top 32s at Pro Tours than anyone in the history of the game.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure
I would
that's
totally
true.
believe that stat.
But we are back into our other semi-final action. Now, this is where we left things off. In game number 1, remember, Lanto on the left, Graham on the right, Felidar Sovereign in play, as we see Ondu Rising.
Yeah, Graham's been afraid to attack with the Felidar Sovereign because he doesn't want to get it killed. He kind of wants it on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus Lanto hasn't really been able to line up any attacks, though, into the Felidar Sovereign. That Infiltrator can chip away, though. Has been chipping away.
Lanto at 8, 9 mana, so 10 mana. So he has enough to be getting Invoker going. Huh. Blight Herder, let's have a ton more. I mean, look at that board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures on Lanto's side of the board. Benedict Infiltrator says none of them matter. Right now. So, Lanto.
Lanto on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's stabilized. Maybe he can turn the corner. Felidar Sovereign is still a 4/6 lifelinker, though.
Right.
All right. Feels like Lanto's got a trick. Ah. He's just willing to throw a creature into the Felidar Sovereign so that he can finish it off with the Invoker.
Yeah. Here's Courier Griffin, 2 life gain for John Graham.
And another attack from Lanto. Certainly seems to be ahead on the board now, but he was way behind on life, and he's been forced to play super defensively. Can he turn the corner and win fast enough? It's a lot of damage.
That went from 31 to 19. You get a glance at the life pad top left.
Yeah, and
It's like
4 down to 3 for Lanto.
All right. So, Incubator Drone, Benthic Infiltrator, Valakut Invoker, Kozilek Sentinel, Herald of Kozilek, Scion, 3/3 land, pile in,
Oh,
kill.
Finish off the Infiltrator.
You've got a fortified rampart, and we are now live.
Wow.
We are live, and it's still
Still
game
game
one. But not for long. One way or the other.
This sure look. I mean, unless John Graham has a trick here, Lanto wins with his attack, right?
Encircling Fissure. That's basically it, right? For Graham, that's his only.
I think he has one.
Yep, that's what I would recommend.
I don't see one in his main deck.
So there he is trying to work out whether he is in fact dead after a monster opening game. Here comes Lanto with everything.
Well, not the Invoker.
Yeah, well, yes. Graham's like making blocks as if the game isn't over.
But it is.
There we go. So,
Magnus Lanto takes the 1-0 lead. Are we going to have an all-European final?
well, I mean, you know, it's only to be expected.
If it happens, we're kicking you out of the booth.
Do you know what? If it doesn't happen, you can kick me out of the booth.
It may be that you are all scheduled to be off for the finals.
I think I will go and get a close up seat over the front. You know, but the thing is, I absolutely love, and I mean this 100% sincerely. When we're at European Grand Prix and it happens to be the week before a Pro Tour, or just because Sam Black or Louis Scott Vargas or someone happens to be over there, we had the SCG guys over at London.
Sure.
A whole, 5 of them. There was BBD and Todd Anderson. It is great. It is just, and we love it. You know, when I started doing coverage, when it was the traveling Japanese team of Saito and Kenji Samura and Shuhei Nakamura, we love it when you guys come to Europe and play in the European events, because we don't get to see you outside the Pro Tour, for the most part. And I think events like this are just great because you do see Raphaël Lévy of France against Li Shichan, and we all meet in this, who knew that all 2,000 lives would converge on this, no pun intended, in this room just because of a game we all love.
Yeah,
and
I completely agree with you.
It's just wonderful, and we'll see whether Lanto can get there. Lanto against Levy, or Graham against Levy. That's
Man,
what
I still remember the first time the Japanese made a trip to a U.S. Grand Prix. It wasn't done. And then there was one like Grand Prix Boston, and it's like, oh my God, Kenji is here.
it was Rockstar.
Shuhei's, it was insane. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Kenji won the GP.
Right. Well, I mean, that I was going to say which one was that. You said Boston, but okay, it could have been so many. Yeah. I mean, just wonderful stuff, and it really is a global game. And you know, obviously, I usually cover the European events. I direct the European stream, and you know, we feel part of that one global community. We know that a ton of you are watching across America, and we just think it's wonderful when you come and play. Come to Europe and play in the GPs, and there's certainly, I mean, one event I can't wait for, and I'm going to have to because it's a long way away.
Yeah.
GP Rotterdam
Okay.
is the week before the World Magic Cup in 2016.
That is looking ahead.
So
That's a
we
year
are,
from now.
We are 14 months away from that.
Sure.
But at that event, you are going to have, because it is in the
World
same
Magic
city,
Cup?
it's going to be the rehearsal. It's team limited,
Wow, that's insane.
right?
Like every
maybe
World
it's just
Magic Cup
limited.
team.
Maybe it's just limited.
So
But
like every
feel-
World Magic Cup team
yes.
is just going to be there testing
Yeah.
for the World Magic Cup. That's awesome.
Yes. It's going to be just an amazing
That's spectacular.
celebration, you know? I just think it's wonderful.
Hey, I got a
so-
couple stats for you for this. GP.
yeah, go.
Couple stats for you. Paul Rietzel, third GP top 8 of the season. There hasn't been a Pro Tour yet this season.
Mm-hmm.
He has 3 Grand Prix top 8s.
Did he have time to do anything else during the season? You know, like make the top 4 of the World Championship?
Right.
Or was he a bit busy with the Grand Prix?
He's also top 4 of the World Championship.
Okay.
Yeah, going into the first Pro Tour, he's got World Championship top 4, 3 GP top 8s. Nice season. Hasn't been a Pro Tour yet. Another cool stat, Jerry Thompson, and this is like bittersweet, but I love the way I saw Jerry posted on social media. He's now played for top 8 at 3 consecutive GPs in 3 different formats.
Oof.
He lost all 3 win-and-ins for top 8, but he's just like, feels great. Good things are coming.
Seems, I mean, that's chops right there. We're going to start off game number 2 here between John Graham and Magnus Lanto with Coral Helm Guide and McKinley Patrol. On the other side, the Accelerator, Herald of Kozilek. Graham doesn't care. He says, I've got mana, you haven't, respect some tricks, especially Gideon's Reproach. You can't block in this spot. Out my way. Yes, that dice has no strategic meaning in this game right now. Take it away. Coral Helm Guide, number 2. Lanto with 4 or 5 mana to work with, depending on the color or absence thereof.
How many GP wins does Levy have?
Want to say 4. He had back-to-back Dallas and Dallas Fort Worth,
Okay.
Singapore.
There's one from way back in the
Back-to-back.
day.
Yeah, like Leon 1999, I want to say.
I think it was 98.
Maybe, I'm going to say maybe even earlier.
I was there. Legion Land Loss, he played at that. A green land destruction deck.
Nobody should remember that, Randy.
I was
Nobody.
there.
Back comes the Herald.
So that's at least 3 wins. You think probably a 4th?
I think there's 4. Oh, yes, there is. He's won another North American GP, I think. Tell you what, you talk to the audience, and I'll look it up.
We could race.
I win 4 Grand Prix titles, Leon 1998, Dallas and Singapore 2007, and then the one I remembered, North America, and I was there at that one, Austin 2012. 2 finals, 7 semifinals,
So
6 quarterfinals.
He's
This
won
is his-
2 North American GPs and only 1 European?
Correct, and one Asia Pacific. Yes.
And going for this 3rd North American GP win.
Well, as we can clearly empirically prove, if Lanto wins this and it's an all-European final, it's just so easy to win North American Grand Prix when you're from Europe or something. Deathless Behemoth comes down for Lanto. And John Graham, meanwhile, is going wide. Fortified Rampart, Coral Helm Guide, McKinley Patrol, Coral Helm Guide, Eldrazi Skyspawner, and Scion. Guide dies. Graham reaches out with Gideon's Reproach to finish it off. I think Gideon's Reproach fulfills my sort of one of the, I'm not sure it's top 5 cards of the weekend exactly, but it's routinely excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. A lot of fun. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably the best white common.
Yes. It was like it was like a 3-color amalgamation of just random stuff.
Coral Helm Guide. Activated ability now online.
So
John
Lanto
Graham.
at 10.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, trying to beat down.
Joe Lavrenz just chatting with Marshall just off to our left, and he's had a great weekend and has kept smiling all the way through. Didn't feel any pressure. Just played Magic till someone said, "Sorry, you got to stop." We'll see him at the Pro Tour. Same deal. I've got the use for 5 mana. It's making this unblockable. Lanto at 6. Tide Drifter doesn't help. Kozilek Sentinel doesn't help. Herald right now doesn't help. Nettle Drone? No, that won't either.
But it only costs 2. That part's cool.
Not helping for less is even better than not helping for more. I do agree. Lanto at 2. Shall we do it all again, Magnus? Shall we play game number 3? Or do you have something better in mind from your point of view? I'll shoot you for 1. Then I'll cast Drowner of Hope.
Doesn't really help against Coral Helm Guide. Right? I mean, you tap the Sky Spawner, sure. You tap the Coral Helm Guide, but he just attacks with the other creature, right?
So this is a sequency thing, isn't it? So it's like I would like to attack, and I'm going to tap both of these.
Right, but John Graham's been playing it right. He hasn't been activating the Coral Helm Guide's ability until after he taps his potential attacker.
Yeah, so it's just as long as you sequence it correctly, you get to do it regardless.
Yep. And we're on to game 3.
All right, good stuff. Raph Lévy waiting in the wings for the winner of this.
Yeah, John Graham, #1 seed. The only player to get above 39 points.
Yeah, one of the 12 players who ended up on 39 or better.
Yeah.
Was it 11? That's just tremendous.
We were talking about Raphaël Lévy's consistent success, by the way. I mentioned this yesterday, but there's a Twitter account I follow. It's like quick_MTG stat. He's been kind of messing around with ELO rankings just for Pro Tour matches.
And this is like a ranking system where if you're at 1,700 and I'm at 1,500, your win gets you fewer points than me beating you would. That's
Correct.
basically what ELO comes down to.
That is what ELO comes down to. It's the rating chess used. Magic used it for a number of years.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, all the Pro Tour match results are available on the website. You just kind of go back and look at all the data from all the Pro Tours. So he's gone back and looked at about the last 5 or 6 years, I think, of data are in his database right now. Like, what's the ELO? And it's really interesting. You kind of watch people. And, I mean, Eric Froelich has been crushing for a while. And if you look at the current snapshot, you always see things. The problem with ELO is always that whoever won the most recent event, like somebody had to win the most recent Pro Tour, right? That's just always true, and so that person's usually done well because they entered on an upswing.
Yep.
My proposal to this guy was, what if you just like average together the last, every round from the last 2 Pro Tours? Just try to smooth out the most recent results. That list: Eric Froelich #1, Andrew Cuneo #2. We talked about, Cuneo's success it's almost a running joke at this point. It's not a joke. The guy's amazing. But consistent success at the Pro Tour. #3 is Raphaël Lévy.
Yeah. He's
most top 32s in the history of the Pro Tour. He's always playing deep into day 2, winning money, making a run.
all right. So I have mentioned this before. And again, I want to make it really clear there's not a joke coming. I mean, it's just completely seriously. I've talked to Raph about this because when you look at his results sort of round by round, he is a very slow starter.
Interesting.
One of the interesting things with him is that he traditionally, yes, he gets to day 2, and then on day 2, he makes a really decent run. And I talked to him about it, and he said, you know what? I find waking up really tough.
Wow.
To be mentally strong at 9 a.m. or whatever the start time is. I kind of work my way into it and hope that I'm not out of contention by the time I hit peak performance. Well, let's see who Raph Lévy will face. He's certainly awake right now. He is gearing up for a final against one of these two.
#4 on that list, by the way, Paul Rietzel.
Right.
Surprise of absolutely no one. It's a pretty good list. Pat Cox, Sam Black, Li Shitian, Owen Turtenwald, Yelger, and Even Flock. It's your top 10 on ELO for the last, averaged out over the last event.
So Graham has opened up with Fortified Rampart, Eldrazi Skyspawner plus Scion. And Magnus Lanto has only one play so far, which is Herald of Kozilek. But now he's going to go for Boiling Earth, which says, go away, all you 1 toughness fiends on the other side.
Effectively just a 1-for-1, but, man, when you 1-for-1 your 12th pick for their first pick quality card, feels good.
Yes. Benthic Infiltrator, which did very good work for John Graham in the last game. 5 mana.
Plus the 1.
Yep, is the cost of Deathless Behemoth right now. No way to bring it back should it die at the moment. Would need 2 Scions for that. Infiltrator will come in.
Does not care. I'm going to go ingest a card.
Yep, and it's Scour from Existence. Goes away. Coral Helm Guide for Graham. Another land for Lanto. Stone Fury. I didn't like what your Coral Helm Guide did to me in the last game. Let's make it dead. And also, let's see if we want to do some smashing. So the Fortified Rampart isn't going to suck up all the potential damage it could by being in front of the Deathless Behemoth. Instead, it just says, I'll get in the way of the 2/4 and stay around for another turn. Graham sends the Benthic Infiltrator. Clutch of Currents says go away, but just that, there is no Awaken.
And he's back.
Yeah, just to confirm, Lanto is at 18, now 17. Graham is at 14. Yeah, we had those reversed just for a moment. Back up to 16 with Courier Griffin, but now in we come.
Wow. It's a pretty good turn. Channeler and an incubator drone.
Yeah. Lanto's board just keeps developing so smoothly.
John Graham triggers Vigilance, gets in an attack.
Graham really needs his Faladar Sovereign, which is kind of what he's been playing towards with the kind of keep myself alive, Clutch of Currents without Awaken.
Wow, and
Clutch
he's
of Currents
also
without Awaken.
he's stuck on 4 land, and his opponent keeps summoning Eldrazi.
Right. Lanto with 8 land, plus Channeler, plus Herald, plus Incubator, plus Scion. That's no... yeah. Yeah. All right, John. Time to do very good things quite soon. Are we in planar outburst territory here? I don't recall that that's available to him.
I don't think he has one.
No. Well, it's a land, although it's a sideways one. Sandstone Bridge. Let's make my Infiltrator a bit bigger. Pop in for 2 in the air. More ingest. Wasn't being sorted there. Lanto will enter the red zone again.
How many of these are we going to turn sideways? Many. Lots.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obligatory. That's one of the things that Fortified Rampart does. It kind of says if you actually want to get somewhere, probably want a bunch of things coming through. And that is what Lanto is doing. Put the Fortified Rampart in front of the Blight Herder. Infiltrator in front of the Herald. That'll keep that alive. All right. After all those carefully thought out blocks, John Graham is down to 4. Magnus Lanto is at 10. And he passes the turn. What have you got, John Graham?
Finally has a land.
Mm-hmm. Looks like there's a sheer drop. Faladar Sovereign, we know. He's had that forever. If he casts the Faladar Sovereign, is the life link that he gets from that when he blocks something enough to keep him in the game? Let's see. Block Blight Herder gain 4, be it 8. 4, something huge. Huh. It's a struggle, not gonna lie.
Felidar Sovereign comes down. John thinks he can get away with an attack from the Griffin.
Well, I mean, certainly there is not 8 damage beyond 3 blockers
Right.
from Lanto right now. Lanto attacks with everything. Graham gets to block with 3, gain 4 from the Felidar, puts him to 8. And the least that Lanto could deal right now is 5. Herald 2, Incubator 2, Scion 1. Assuming 3 biggest blocks. Would leave the Sovereign alive still, because he can put that in front of either the Blight Herder or the Kozilek's Channeler if he wants to, and still have it around for next time.
Lanto attacks with just the 6/6.
Because if Graham blocks with Felidar, he'll gain the Valakut Invoker.
6, 7, 8 with the Channeler.
Shoot the Courier Griffin. There was no life gain. Lanto didn't really give him a good opportunity to do that. He would have lost the Felidar Sovereign. And John Graham back into end of game mode, depending on what he can do with those 3 cards in hand. If Lanto untaps with that Invoker in play, Graham right now is at 1 to all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and it's also 7 creatures to 2.
Right.
Yeah. Graham attacking with the Sovereign, he has to. He needs to trigger the lifelink.
Five. Looks like clutch with Awaken. It is. This is not sufficient.
I don't think so either.
Lanto, Levy. Seems like the final we're destined for. Levy, of course, has a huge connection to the Swedish community. He lived there for a couple of years. Lived in Gothenburg. Great friends with all the Swedes. So not a domestic Swedish final, but yeah, very close ties there for Raph.
Did he make their national team one year? He at least played their like regionals nationals
Right.
system that year.
Yeah.
I feel like he might have even made their
I
national
think he
team once.
might have done that, yes. Madness Lanto, very methodical, working out his mana, working out just how to make John Graham dead. Kozilek Sentinel. It costs 1 red, apparently. Not 1 and a red, but red. Thanks to Herald of Kozilek. Lanto passes. Now Graham hasn't drawn the spell. It was that plains. He's got a sheer drop. Oh, it's on Rising, sorry. Yep, on Rising. So that gives all his attacking creatures lifelink. Which potentially means that next turn when Lanto attacks for 78, some more of that will be Graham's life total. But we're so done. Fire Splitter says, "Go Lanto." Well, I think you're in with a shout there. I think you're going to see Magnus in the final Fire Splitter. Yep, so I'm looking to gain 11 or 12 life. I'm going to gain 12 life here. Is my plan. Lanto says I'm going to kill your 3/3 in response, so you won't be gaining that life. I'm going to put 4/5 in front of a 4/4. You're all tapped out. I'm going to do a very, very safe, ginormous block on your Felidar Sovereign. It's Quince. Finally, we got there. We've had trips and quads all day. Let's make it Quince. I'll order it in, doesn't matter. Yeah, that's dead. So Graham battled heroically. He's at 13. 2, 4, 5, 6, 10. Yes, yes, you are correct. In, 8. Boom. Good game. And Magnus Lanto, the online champion in real life, is through to the final of Grand Prix Madison 2015. In that final, he will face Hall of Famer Raphaël Lévy. Those semis were great. Enjoyed those. Good stuff.